just to gain favor with the party.
Okay, we have a question over here. An unknown by the name of Laura Boggs.
And this is more a question for the audience. Congressman Perlmutter got married last November to a lady named Nancy. I'm wondering if anybody knows her last name. Henderson comes to mind, and she, Perlmutter, yeah, good. Good job, Ben. And I'm wondering if anybody knows what year she was president of the JCEA Teachers Union.
What's an acronym?
The Jefferson County Education Association. Anybody know what year she was president of that? Late 90s?
That's the tracker.
He's looking like he doesn't know. She's still a teacher in JeffCo. So I'm thinking whoever said there was a lot of union money coming into this campaign might be right.
Did you have a question? Okay, comment, not a question. Let's see, Tom Graham. Okay, we'll get you in a minute. Tom Graham.
Tom Graham, or Nevada. It's something I've mentioned a couple of times to this group. And here's a little article, and it goes back to when Rick O'Donnell was running for this seat. And I'll read this to you. It's only a couple of lines. MoveOn.org is targeting the tight 7th congressional district race between Democrat Ed Perlmutter and Republican Rick O'Donnell. The group has opened a Denver campaign office where local residents will make thousands of phone calls through Election Day aimed at defeating O'Donnell. Now, the thousands of local residents were largely people who were loaned by Acorn paid workers to run the phone banks. And to make a question out of this, I want to know if Joe can use this kind of information in his campaign. MoveOn.org and Acorn, most of us know what that is.
And add to that progress now.
We're going to dig deep and find everything we possibly can. I hope I'm at liberty for my staff to mention something. We're talking about the new Mrs. Perlmutter. The old Mrs. Perlmutter was a lobbyist while Ed was in Congress. She was the only lobbyist, the first and only lobbyist for Solandra. She got $180,000 to do this. So where's the conflict here? Where are the special interests? Where are the political payoffs going? I think this is the kind of thing you're talking about. We're going to be digging deep. Thank you.
My name is Richard Danielle, and I wanted to share with you some of my experiences with Representative Perlmutter. There's a couple of you that may qualify for Medicare, but you may not know this part of Obamacare. Unfortunately, my wife has been quite ill the past year. One of the things on Obamacare, Medicare no longer covers pre-surgical blood testing. What? You got to pay for that out of your pocket. Not only that, when Medicare doesn't cover something, they don't forward it to your supplemental. They send it back to the provider. I was quite upset about this and called Representative Perlmutter's office. Locally, there was no answer. It was a Saturday morning, so I called Washington. The lady that answered spent over 5 minutes harassing me because I was not pronouncing Perlmutter correctly. Then she said, "Time's up," and hung up.
Okay, I guess there's no question there. I think it's self-answering.
I'd just like to make a comment. Obamacare has got to be repealed. If it can't be repealed, it needs to be defunded, and that's a responsibility of the House of Representatives. 2,300 pages of law here that nobody's ever read. 2,700 pages? Thank you for the correction.
Yeah.
The IRS, oh, this is a sidebar, but the IRS has 77,000 pages of code. If you ascribe 5 mils thick for each page, it's over 30 feet of tax code.
And you are responsible for every page.
Thank you. I'm Bill Heinesser. It seems that the military and governmental agencies have a tremendous amount of waste because they feel compelled to spend their entire budget at the end of each fiscal year. I was wondering what plans you might have to introduce legislation that would put a stop to this.
A tough subject because there's something going on now called, I won't pronounce this right, sequestration. Thank you very much. which is basically part of the super committee's agreement that mandatory cuts in military and other things. And I really don't know yet what can be done to do what you're talking about. I'm certainly going to look into any possible way that we can do to defund stuff. I have this thought that I can challenge every one of the Congress people back there to look at 5% cuts in everything that they control. That's $500 billion right there. If there isn't that much low-hanging fruit, there's something wrong. We've got to rally around that. I think the Republicans may be a little hesitant right now to do anything because this is an election cycle. I don't have that problem because I'm not in office, but I will be in office, and when I'm in office, I'm going to take a scalpel to the budgets that I think have a lot of low-hanging fruit. I mentioned the training centers, for example. The waste and the fraud that's going on in government needs to be held accountable. I don't know if that answers exactly your question, but please share.
By the way, Joe said he will remain later if you want to talk to him after the meeting. And we still got a ways to go.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Jerry.
There isn't anyone in this room who doesn't understand that the Coors family is probably one of the most well-respected families in the county, if not the state. This is all about the money. I'm Sherry Collins. Thank you, Fred. This is all about the money. And, we're going to have to raise a lot of money. And are you prepared to, fundraising, falderall that goes with this thing? We're talking millions of dollars here, probably.
Yes, I don't want to disclose what I think it's going to take, but let me put it this way. Being a math major, I majored in math at North Carolina State University. In this district, there are approximately 300,000 voters, and I need 160,000 votes in round numbers to win this election. And I figured out mathematically how to do that. And if I can get 160,000 voters or 160,000 people to donate $20.12 each, I got it covered. The 20,012 comes from the year 2012. So we're going to begin a campaign to do just that in the second quarter. Thank you for the question.
Morning. I'm Jean Hines. I live in Arvada, Colorado. Speaking of money, I would like to know what your, I don't know really how to put this question, but speaking of money, what's your feelings about the Federal Reserve in the place that it has, what it is doing to society?
Oh gosh, help. I will be frank. I don't know that much about the federal